I got some tea to spill, so if you're ready to chill, take a jail pill.
Hey, welcome back to Take a Jail Pill. How's it going? How you doing? Look at us, guys. We're back. I'm back 2 weeks in a row. Would you look at that? Just look at it. That's one of my favorite. Do you remember that YouTube? I don't know if everyone saw this. It was like the guy, and he was so obnoxious and like just, I don't know. He was such a nerd, and he'd be like, look at it. Just look at it. Would you look at that? Look at it. Would you look at it? And I don't know why. It's just one of the ones that I often quote. It's a little more obscure, but I love it. Anyway, I'm not a big YouTube girl, but you know, every once in a while there's one that just stands out. How's everyone doing this week? I'm doing pretty good myself. Thank you for asking. I appreciate that. I know you didn't ask. But I think you're wondering, aren't you? It's like, this is how it goes. We go back and forth. How are you doing? How are you doing? That's fine. All right. Before we get really into the episode, I'll just tell you how it's going to go. It's a little different today in that the top 5 it's going to be the meat and potatoes of this episode. That's where everything is really living. Okay. So we're going to do, I don't have a cult or a conspiracy we're talking about. I'm going to do a top 5 that's going to go a little more in depth. Okay. And it's going to be the top 5 things nobody tells you, but maybe they should. I'll tell you more about why I got there this week. But anyway, we're going to do that. I'm going to first of all tell you, just fill you in on all the things. We'll do top 5. We'll do listener questions. We'll take a Jill pill, and it's going to be great. We know the drill now, guys. We know the drill on the Jill pill. Okay. Here we go. Ugh. All right. My phone just rang. And do you guys ever answer your phone? I feel like I have a few people that call me. Otherwise, it's just scam. And at least now it's like potential scam, potential spam, all this stuff. And I'm like, at least it warns you of that. But it's just like, stop it. Stop calling me. I don't use my phone for that. Are you a big phone person? I don't know. I feel like that's a lost art a little bit. Talking on the phone, because there's just so many other ways to communicate now. We don't even need it, but I do love a good phone call once in a while. They're just hard to get off of sometimes. My mom used to do this thing. We used to laugh because I would be talking to her. This is especially when I lived far away from her. Like, she was just she was very talkative and outgoing, and like would just like bleh, verbal vomit to you all the time. And we'd be talking, and I could always sense kind of when she was getting done with the conversation. She was kind of ADD. We'd be in the middle of a conversation, and she'd be like, all right, well, it's been so great talking to you. I hope you have a really great day, and I can't wait to see you next time. And I just hope everything goes well, and I'll talk to you later. Bye. And she would I wouldn't even be able to get a word in edgewise. It was just like, brrr, and done. And I would always hang up and be like, okay, like whoever I was with, or if, I'd be like, that's what she does. It's just, she's done talking. And I kind of appreciate that now about her, because it's hard to wind down a phone call, anyway, I don't know. There's just so many weird things about these new ways of communication too. Like Zoom. A lot of my week is on Zoom, and I don't mind it for the most part because it just becomes normal. But there's something about ending a Zoom call that's just so awkward, especially the more people there are on it, the worse it is, because everyone's like, bye, waving, bye, wave. It's like, we just got to end it. It's just a hard out, boom. When I'm in charge, if it's just like 1 or 2 people, it's different. It's like a regular call. But if you're on a big group Zoom call and you're in charge of it, hit that X button, baby. Just bye, done. Then you put everyone out of their misery of like waving. It's the waving for me. It's just kind of awkward. I should put my Duncan glove on and wave next time just to be weird, Guys, this week, Bryan Kohberger I don't know if he already did, wants to revoke his guilty plea. What? That story is one of the craziest stories of our lifetime. And I kind of wanted it to go to trial because, and it might still, I guess, but how intriguing. This is the Idaho murders, the 4 students who were murdered. And like, I was so intrigued by that story when it happened. I'm a big Dateline 2020, as you can imagine. I'm a big Dateline girl. That story was riveting. And he's like, obviously guilty, but like, there's also just a lot of weird factors in it. I don't know. I want to see the trial kind of, although he can't just say, oh no, I didn't do it now. I don't know. I feel so bad for those families. Like, what a horrific, horrific thing. And he's just a weird character. But I did watch the Netflix documentary. I think I watched it the day it came out this week. Binged it about him because I just can't get enough of that story. It's just so crazy to me. There are a lot of good documentaries right now on Netflix. There's like The Worst Ex Ever. That's kind of an interesting one. And then there's The Toxic Love Story, which is definitely worth watching. Not if you ever want to date. If you ever want to be in a really good, healthy relationship, maybe don't watch these. But for me, I'm like, I don't know. This is making me give up on dating. Honestly, these documentaries are wild. Toxic Love Story. Go watch it and we'll talk about it later. All right. What else oh, guys, back to just a little blip on the deviled eggs. I've seen deviled eggs on 2 menus this week. And I might be off on like how much people really do love deviled eggs. Maybe they love them more than I think. I'm still going to stand by that it's not a great business model to open a deviled eggs shop that's only deviled eggs. But people love them. So you know what? Go for it. If I ever see one, you can guarantee I'm going in and trying it. I'll be like, give me your best 10 deviled eggs. But anyway, I promise we're not going to say the word deviled egg again on this podcast today. Okay. I was out with a couple friends last night. They were visiting from Nashville. They were coming through New Hampshire, which who does that, right? And I'm like, let me show you a good time. We went to Lighthouse. We went out to dinner. I mean, it was a good time, but it's not like, that sounded like more nefarious than it was. I showed them like old World War II towers and stuff, it was very exciting. Anyway, all that to say, we went to this restaurant. I love when people come here because I want to give them the full New England experience, because people have this vision of what it is and I want it to be that for them. So the perfect thing happened. These are my friends, JJ and Jamie. We were at dinner and it was this seafood restaurant in Maine. We're looking out over like the creek and we're eating like crab cakes and all this New Englandy stuff. Fish and chips and lobster mac and cheese. And we're just excited to have even me, I'm excited. Even though I live here, I'm like, oh, I never order fish and chips. Like, I'm just going to go for it. I'm in New England too. So anyway, the perfect thing happened. And it reminded me of New England Girly because the waitress comes over and she was like, all right, guys, do you want to order some chowder or something while you wait? I'm just waiting on your drinks from the bartender. And I just looked at them and I was like, you're welcome. Okay. You're welcome for this full New England experience. Bartender. It was the perfect pronunciation I've ever heard, like the most perfect pronunciation. And so I just wanted to share that a little bit because New England Girly was happy. I don't know what's going to become of New England Girly, but I'm just putting her in the mix here. I'm just waiting on your drinks from the bartender. It was so good. Anyway, what else from this week did I want to share with you? Oh, I do have a grammar segment for you right here. Okay. I know a lot of people have told me they want more Grammar with Jill segments in this podcast, which I'm working on. It's not for everyone, but I love the English language. I'm passionate about it. I'm passionate about spelling and punctuation and stuff. I just care about it. And some people don't. But there's one thing that happens a lot and it drives me up a wall. And it's very sensitive because people spell losing and loosing. They don't spell them right. So if I'm like losing my mind, that's 1 O. Loosing is like I'm loosing. Loosing is a weird word, really, but like to set something loose, like you set a butterfly loose or something like that. Okay, so that's 2 O's. Stay with me here, guys. This is going somewhere. But I always see people post really serious posts on Instagram, and this is my dark humor, but it'll be like, loosing my dog of 12 years is the hardest thing I've ever gone through. And I'm like, I know it is. Like, I feel so bad for you that your dog passed, and I know how special it is, but like, you didn't lose him, like you lost your dog, losing my dog. And it's just, I can't, it's like, it makes me giggle. Losing this person was so hard. I don't know, guys, that's just my little loosing versus losing. Just take note when you're doing like a real serious, this is no one that I saw that I know here. So if you did this recently and you think, oh my gosh, Jill's calling me out, I promise it's not, because I saw this on something that was nothing to do with anything. But people do this a lot. They confuse loosing and losing. And I just wanted to make that little note that the grammar police would like to say, watch your double O when you're meaning to say losing. Okay. I'm a loser. Speaking of, I'm a loser. All right. Speaking of, let's move on. I really just kind of want to get to it today, guys. I think we just need to get to the point of this podcast, okay? And so let's do it. We're going to do top 5 right now. All right. I was just thinking this week about something I was going through. I had like a setback in a certain situation I'm dealing with. And I was like, I wish someone would have told me how this was going to go, this certain situation. I'm like, I wish someone would have said, hey, just so you know, when you get into that, this is most likely what's going to happen. And you're going to face these roadblocks. And sorry to be vague, but it's true. Like, I wish someone would have told me a little more information about this. And so I was thinking, what are other things that I feel like nobody really told me, but they should have? And so I'm going to give you my top 5, okay? And there's probably a million of these that we all could share with each other. But here's my top 5 things nobody tells you, but maybe they should. Here we go. Number 5, nobody tells you that almost everyone is making it up as they go. People are just faking it till you make it in every profession, in every category. People are just, because we're all here. I've talked about this before, but we're all here for the first time, you know? We're just doing it. We don't really know what we're doing. We're just making it up as we go. And I think that's fine. I think that's sort of how life is. But I think we put these expectations on people like, well, they're a professional, so you put all your trust in them, right? To like lead correctly or do something the right way. And it's like, there's not really a right way for a lot of things. It's just people just make it up as they go. And now that I know that, I'm okay with it, right? It's like, all right, everybody's making it up. I don't love it. I don't love it that people are just making things up as they go, especially people like in certain professions. You know what I mean? But that being said, once you know that, you don't have these high expectations of people. So you're not let down as easily. That's how I feel about it. It's like, I think I used to put certain people on pedestals, whether it be in the medical field or even in music, like in certain areas of music in my career, or like pastors. I don't know, whatever it is, that if you put anyone on a pedestal and you're like, well, they really know what they're doing. I don't mean to diminish that they do have a lot of experience and they do know what they're doing to an extent. But bottom line, because now I'm rambling, the bottom line, almost everyone is making it up as they go. So if you are too, that's great. You're right on par, okay? We're all making it up. We're doing our best. I wish someone told me that. I feel like that would have saved me some heartache of like, just it's the expectation thing for me. Okay. Number 4, nobody tells you that you should always trust your intuition. Always. People will say like, oh, your intuition's usually right. I have learned, this is my belief, so you can take it or leave it. I think your intuition is always right. I think it's always worth listening to. And you question yourself a lot. You're like, you self-doubt a lot. I do. I have in the past. I feel like I'm getting better at trusting my intuition because it's always right. And that doesn't mean you're always right, but like there's something in, you know how I believe in all this woo-woo crap, like spiritual stuff of like, there's something in you that knows more. And it's like, trust that. When you have a bad gut feeling or a good gut feeling, I think you can always trust that. Always is a big word. I realize that. Like, as I say it, I'm like, ooh, that's so definitive for someone like me who likes to like walk the line on everything. Like, oh, I kind of think this and I also think this. But I always think your intuition is it knows, okay? So trust that crap. I don't know. I'm feeling like I almost want to curse today, but my goddaughter sometimes listens to this and other people and I don't need to curse, you know? It's like I can do, but I just kind of want, like, always believe that crap. That's what I want to say about your intuition. All right. Number 3, things that nobody tells you, but maybe they should. Nobody tells you that you can talk a lot about a lot of things and plan a lot of things, but action is like really where it's at. You have to take action. I wish I knew this sooner because I am a big planner and dreamer. I'm not even a planner, but I'm a dreamer. And I'm like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to make this album and I create all these ideas. I'm an ideas person. I love dreaming. But you can talk and talk and dream. And if you have nothing to show for it in the end, like, then what? I mean, it's a lot of, I like the dreaming part. It's fun. And I like living in my head and all of that, but like do something about it. So that's something I wish I knew sooner. And it's not rocket science. None of these are rocket science things because I'm not a rocket scientist. I don't know if you knew that. I feel like I try to make it clear on this that I'm not a scientist. I feel like I say that in like every episode. And you guys are probably like, yeah, Jill, we know you're not a scientist. Like you don't have to keep telling us that. But I just want to make sure you know, I mean, I did terrible in science. I don't even remember the types of science there are. I was just going to give you an example. I'm like, I know there's biology, geology, I think. Like, I don't know. Geology rocks. I don't know science. This is not rocket science. Wow, that was a tangent. But you can talk and dream and plan a lot of things. But you got to just do it sometimes. That's what I'm challenging myself with right now. I've done a few things recently where I'm just like, yeah, I'm just going to do it. And it feels really good because it doesn't have to be perfect, you know, but sometimes you just need to take action. Stop talking about it and do it. It's harder than you'd think, but it's rewarding. All right. Number 2, nobody tells you this. Okay. This is actually very important. This has become important to me in the last season of my life. Nobody tells you that the people around you who have really been through like hard times, dark times, trauma, grief, challenges, those are the people you want around you when you're going through it. You think you know who you need around you when you're in a really hard season or a dark time or trauma or whatever it is, grief. You think like, oh, the people in my life who I do life with. But there are going to be some people, and it's no fault of their own, but there are some people in life who really haven't gone through really hard things. And we've all gone through hard things, but I'm talking like things that change you, things that really hard life things that change you. The loss of a child, a parent, a traumatic event, a really scary diagnosis. There's a million things that it could be. And I just have found that the people who have really gone through it and come out the other side, or even if they're still in it, they just get it on a different level. They can't change anything about your situation. There's nothing I can even pinpoint that they do differently necessarily for you when you're in this hard time, but they just get it on a different level. They just get it. And like their presence is safer to be around sometimes than people who you might be really close to but haven't navigated a really dark thing. Does this make sense? I don't know if this is like if I'm explaining this right, but I wish someone would have maybe told me. Like I don't think I wish even someone told me that. It's something I learned, I guess, is like you think you know who you want around you when you're in a struggle. It's going to be like the people you're closest to. That's not always who it is. I have become really close to some people that like I knew from different eras of my life or even newer people in my life that I'm like, oh, they don't get exactly what I'm in or what I'm going through, but they get what it's like to navigate something hard. It's not a club anyone wants to be in, you know? And we all get there eventually, I think. I don't think anyone gets out of this life without going through something really hard. Some people just haven't yet. And the ones who have are just the ones who are safe to be around. Anyway, I think that's something really valuable to know. And you'll feel it. You'll know the ones who have been through it because they get it, you know? And there's different people for different seasons of life too, in that. You're not going to have the same support network for every single season of your life. And you're not going to be there for other people in that way either. And I think that's okay. That's why there's so many people in the world. You need a good mix of them. All right, the last thing that I have for the top 5 things nobody tells you, but maybe they should. This is number 1. There are some things worth fighting for and some not. And the big key here is that knowing the difference in those things will save you so much time, heartbreak, and like emotional energy too. I think for me, and I know a lot of you are like this, you're like a fighter. You want to fight for what's right, whether it be a relationship, like really just fight it out and make it work, or a friendship, or being wronged by like an employer, or, you know, even like a customer service issue, something like that, getting a wrong order at the restaurant. There's people who just like, I have to fight for this. I have to get it right. And I have that sometimes. And there are things in life worth fighting for. 100%, I believe that. But there are a lot of things not worth the fight. And if you can know the difference, gosh, it will like save you so much pain and energy. It's just pour your energy into fighting for things that like really, really matter. And if it doesn't, if you can just assess it and be like, I don't know, I could let this one go, maybe. The more you can let go, the better. That's really hard for me to even say because I tend to hold on to things a little bit. But I wish someone maybe would have told me when I was younger, like letting go. I mean, maybe we needed Frozen when we were younger. Maybe the kids will be fine now because they're let it go, let it go. Like that is such like a good lesson though. Let it go. I wish someone told me you can let things go. Even if they're important sometimes, the fight is not worth it. It's not worth your energy. I don't know. I battle with that because I like to fight for justice, especially when it's for someone else. I like to defend people and be like, no. And there's certain things, guys, it's not worth the fight. Let it go. Okay. So that's it. Those are the things. I don't know. Maybe you need to hear one of them today. And I feel like I could give 100 things I wish someone told me because there are like non-serious ones too. Like I was way too old when I found out you have to clean out the lint thing in the dryer. Like I was like in my 20s and I was living with roommates and they're like, why does the dryer keep like blah, blah? And I'm like, I don't know. And they're like, has anyone cleaned out the lint thing? And I'm like, what is that? Nobody told me that. I don't know. And I did my laundry and stuff, but I guess maybe my mom always cleaned it out. I don't know, but no one ever told me to do that. So there are other things you just miss along the way. And someone should tell you. So there you go. Hopefully that was helpful in some way. Okay. Let's move on to listener questions. Today I'm going into the archives a little bit because there have been a few times listener questions have come in and I haven't gotten to them all. So I'm answering a few older ones today. So let's go. This might be from you. Listen up. What would you do if you could do anything and money didn't matter? I assume this means career-wise, so I'm going to go with that. If money didn't matter, I would just have a studio and make music all the time. That's what I would do. My own music, other people's music. I would have people come in and write and record for free, like not charge them. I would pick who I wanted to work with and I would record all the time probably. And I would have like engineers so that I didn't have to do that stuff. I could just sort of produce it and manage it. And that's what I would do because I love the studio so much. So yeah, I would also travel a lot privately to islands and bring all my friends and people who I wanted to travel with. Let's go. Let's get on my private jet and let's go to the islands for a week. Let's go to the islands, man. Okay. That's what I would do. So if I win the Mega Millions and you're my friend, you're in luck. Okay. Next, tell us about your siblings. Are they as funny as you are? Well, I would say this is from my brother but it's definitely not. So, because he doesn't listen to my podcast that I know of, or he would never send in a question. I only have one brother, so that's my siblings. He is way funnier than I am, actually. Like, way funnier. A lot of people who meet my brother are like, he's like the funniest person I've ever met. And he probably is. He's very witty and smart and has a great sense of humor. His name's Tim. He's a year and a half older than me. He just had a birthday this week, actually. And yeah, that's really it. What else do you want to know about him? He would hate me talking about him on here. He owns his own business. He lives nearby. He loves sports and conspiracy theory. He's the one that really got me into conspiracy theories. For sure, he's the one. Because I heard him talk about it, for the last 20 years, really. He's been in on it way before most people. So that's how I know a lot of stuff. And yeah, maybe someday he'll come on here, but I wouldn't hold your breath. He's kind of, if you think I'm introverted, he's like way more introverted than me. He might seem more extroverted than me, but he's not. He's really way more introverted than I am. So that's Tim. There you go. Next question. How do you articulate to session musicians what you're looking for, especially on instruments you don't play? So this is like when I'm in the studio recording, let's say I'm recording my album and different musicians come in, drummer, bass player, guitars, whatever. How do I tell them what I want my music to sound like? That is a great question. A lot of times I will show it through songs I love. So if I'm listening like lately to Gracie Abrams or Patrick Droney or these artists that I love right now, I would probably be like, you see how this guitar tone sounds? Like, this is what I'm going for. That's the best way I know how to articulate what I want to other musicians is from things I hear. Sometimes I hear it in my head and I can sort of play it either on a piano or guitar enough to be like, here's what I'm thinking. I'm a good guitar player. I'm not a great guitar player. I can play the piano, but I'm not like in the studio. I'll play acoustic on a lot of my stuff. But when I have guitars and stuff, I'm like, give it to the people who really play guitar really well. So I will play it for them like how I want it and be like, now you do it perfectly. It's sort of like going to a restaurant. It's like you can make chicken parmesan, but if you go to an Italian restaurant, like they're going to really elevate it and do it right, you know? So you have them make it, but you kind of can be like, here's how I want it to look like, you know? That's sort of, does that make sense? That's how I tell people what I want. It's also really important to work with people that get your music and get your vision. I have worked in the studio with people who have their own vision for my songs, and that just usually doesn't end well. Not that my ways are always right, but it is like, it's my music. It's like, I kind of know what I want here, you know? So it's a balance. It's a balance of letting them do their thing and be creative and artistic, but also standing up for what you want it to sound like if you have a vision. And a lot of times I won't even know. I'll be like, I love my song. I did this song. Now you put all the stuff in it, like guitars and stuff, and make it cooler. And I like being able to trust people with that. That's a really cool moment when you can do that. Because I don't want to be overly controlling. I want it to be the best that it can be, you know? That was a long-winded answer to your question, but guess what? I'm long-winded today. Last question for today. How do you calm yourself down when you are extremely angry and frustrated? Have I answered this before? I don't know if I have, but I'll do it again. Is it bad that my first answer is like, I'll probably have a glass of wine? I do enjoy a glass of wine if I'm like worked up. I'm just going to be honest with you right there, okay? I'm an adult. But no, if I'm extremely angry or frustrated, I will need to move. So I will either need to take a walk or I will take a drive. I need to be in movement. And I don't even mean I think it's best if your body's moving, but a car ride, I will drive all over town just to process if I go through something. I drive along the coast here and I just like let it out. Sometimes I'll talk to myself. Shocker, right? You're like, yeah, Jill, you do that here every week. No, I will just turn my radio off, my podcast, everything off, and I'll just process it out loud or like talk to the person I'm really angry at. That helps me. I don't know. It probably looks crazy, but it helps me. So that's probably what I would do. And I also will write. I will journal. I don't love doing it because sometimes I'm like, I don't ever want anyone to find this. So, you know what I mean? Like, are you guys like that? I always feel like when I journal, I'm like, oh my gosh, if anyone ever read this, I don't know. I don't really want them to. So if it's really deep, I'll just write and then throw it away. But I read this thing this week about journaling, which was so interesting. Actually, I'm going to pull it up because I sent it to a few people because it was so good. Actually, it's funny. Do you know how this meme starts? It says, nobody tells you this, which is the whole theme of my podcast today. So that's funny. Nobody tells you this. Journaling works because writing is slower than thinking. Your thoughts move at 1,300 words per minute. Your hand moves at about 20 words per minute. That forced slowdown makes you actually process what's in your head instead of just cycling through it. Speed is the enemy of clarity. So I do think journaling is a big way that I calm myself down when I'm angry and frustrated. So drink some wine, go for a walk, go for a drive, preferably not after the wine, and journal. That's how I do it. That all sounds very healthy. Sometimes to calm myself down, I'm not as healthy about it. You know, I just lose my leap and I have to come back from that. So I don't want to sit here and sound like I have it all together because I definitely don't. But those are some coping mechanisms that I use. All right. Okay. Thanks, guys, for those questions. We'll keep them coming. Let's take our Jill pill. All right. Here's your Jill pill for the day. If you're disappointed in something right now, in the outcome of something, maybe a job situation, or you didn't get a promotion you wanted, or a friend let you down, or you're in like a hard, weird situation, I don't know, whatever it is, and you're feeling disappointed, I just want to say a lot of things in my life that have like been real big disappointments or losses have felt really hard and discouraging have ended up turning around and being fine. some of the things that we think are the biggest disappointments and moments in our life that feel like they are just the end of something. It's just like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm going to go on from this. Like, I'm so disappointed. I'm so discouraged. It becomes down the road like a story you kind of tell in passing. It's like, it becomes not that big of a deal. So even if it feels right now like, it's like I'm so bummed and I'm so mad or disappointed, it's going to turn into something that you look back on and you're like, it did work out. It's all right. It was a bummer at the time, but I'm actually glad it turned out a different way. I think that happens more often than not. So I just don't want you to get super discouraged right now if you're feeling that way, because sometimes you do feel that way, and it sucks, and I'm sorry. But I think it's going to turn around because it always has for me. I'm always like, that really sucked, but a lot of good actually came out of that. So hopefully that relates to something you're going through. I don't know. And if everything's like hunky-dory for you right now, even better. I'm happy for you. We need to celebrate each other too. Like, celebrate each other's wins and good things, because there's a lot of that going on too. All right, guys. Thank you for listening today. I appreciate you being here. You can find me at JiPi Music on Instagram and TikTok, at Take a Jill Pill Podcast on Instagram, takeajillpill.com. You can leave a rating and review if you love me. And if you don't love me, you won't leave I'm just kidding. I can't even say it, it's fine. All right. If you want to leave a rating and review, I would love it. So thank you for that. I hope you have a great week. I think it's going to be a great week, guys. Let's hang on to that right now. All right. Until next time, be good. Take a Jill pill. Bye.